good at following instructions, and I am often told that I can be a little bit too loud, but I guess in this case it doesn't really matter. So my story doesn't necessarily include me being diagnosed with a mental illness, although I'm not sure that they shouldn't have. But it does talk about someone that I was very close to suffering from an immediate mental illness. Each and every time I start to get to know somebody, they're always asking me, well, what's your story? And every time I tell them, they go, that's tragic. No, but really, that's tragic. But here's the kicker, it's not that tragic anymore. My story has been told in an arena. My story has been told to individuals. My story was told to my husband, who said, I'm not sure I have a box for that. And now my story is being told from the stage. I believe in the power of storytelling. But for me, I feel like my story has been told too many times. My dad killed himself. It seems pretty typical. It seems like everyone who knows someone, who knows a friend, who knows a sister, who knows a cousin, who knows a best friend, knows someone who killed themselves. But I guess that's not really what I want to focus on here. What I want to focus on are the moments right before and the moments preceding. My dad, a child psychologist, a best friend, a divorcee, then a fiance, a principal, a runner, a golfer, and a father was brilliant to test his one and only daughter if she was mentally ill by giving me puzzles with different colors and different shapes, and don't worry, everything came out fine. Dad struggled with one thing though. He could never, well not never, but he rarely told me that he loved me. My mom and stepdad and our family friends were chartering a sailboat on Lake Erie for a week when my mom handed me a phone. You remember one of those phones that was kind of like a suitcase with a long cord? Dad was on the other line and we talked for a while. He told me how things were going back at home, and I had told him how sailing on Lake Erie was going and how it was desperately cold. And then we almost hung up, but he said, Megan, I love you. I was 12 years old. Of course I didn't appreciate it then. No 12-year-old appreciates it when their parents say, I love you. But that's the memory that lasts for me. Because after that, after we had hung up, Dad must have had a wire short out. He was on some medication, and because of that, he must have felt like he had to leave this earth, and he cut himself, and then he cut the gas line behind our oven in hopes of just never waking up again. But the air conditioner was still running, and so when it kicked on to cool down the house, it set off a blast, affecting the entirety of our neighborhood. He survived, however, and he was moaning, and he was asking for help when the firemen showed up. Why did he want help? Why did he want help when he wanted to die so desperately? In the end, he would accomplish what he had set out to do, just not the way that he had set out to do it. After spending a month in the hospital with what they call fourth-degree burns, we had to do something. And in that month, my mom had asked me if I wanted to go see him at Loyola Hospital. I just knew my dad didn't want me to see him that way. He never wanted to appear weak, but not because he was some macho man, but because he wanted to be a man who had the pride of knowing that he could always take care of his little girl. That seems kind of ironic now, doesn't it? But I just knew at that time I shouldn't go and see him, but I didn't want him to feel like I had abandoned him. So I recorded him tapes, of course, in the school counselor's office, and I had told him what any 12-year-old would talk about, how school was going, la la la, and that was okay. And I had told him that I had missed him. When his fiancée played the tapes for him in the hospital, he had tried to get out of bed and his heart had started pounding. And she would calm him down and she would say that I was not there at his bedside. She would tell him I wasn't at the hospital and it was just my voice playing for him. And after he realized that I was not there, he would calm down and he would listen to those tapes. And it still tears me up inside to think about the internal pain that he must have been in, knowing that I was still waiting for him here to get better, but he was never going to get better. He was never going to be my dad again. That next month, my mom and stepdad came to me and had told me that recovery did not look good, and that there was a decision to be made. We could either keep Dad on the ventilator or we could pull the plug. I knew that quality of life for him would never be the same, so at 12 years old, I said, pull it. Dad is gone. Dad will never see my life now. He did not see me graduate high school. He did not see me go onto the mission field overseas. He did not see me drive across the country to live in Colorado. He did not walk me down the aisle on my wedding day. He did not witness me purchase my first home, and he will not see my children, if I have children. Sometimes that makes me sad, and sometimes that really pisses me off. But the fact remains that my story includes a life when I had a dad and when I didn't. No matter how it is making me feel right now, I know that it's only temporary, and I know that with time my memory will fade. For now, I remember his unique laugh in which he used to like suck in air instead of like push it out, kind of like, I remember his curly brown hair and his ever blue eyes, his forever 70s style mustache that he refused to shave. I remember Saturday mornings sitting on the futon and eating cereal while watching Ren and Stimpy, which my mom had forbidden. I remember the blue phone on the wall in the kitchen, and I remember the yellow siding on the house, and I will remember all the ways that he loved me, even if he didn't tell me before.